Hello everybody and welcome to a new video with Panasonic's new camera announcements happening tomorrow. What can we actually expect to see? Is it going to be an update to the GH5 or the long-awaited GH6? So for me as a GH5 user and having been running and using the camera for over 4 years, I'm actually hoping that the new GH series of cameras that they're going to announce tomorrow are going to have a number of really good features and enhancements the Micro Four Thirds community have really been waiting for. However, I'm not actually that convinced that we're going to get anything groundbreaking in this announcement. If you go back to 2017 when the GH5S came out, only a year after the GH5, for me it really didn't have anything compelling that I wanted to go and upgrade for, especially spending another, £2,000 and so on. Yes, the dual native ISO was good and much better to have in low light, but really not at the expense of removing the in-body stabilization. Because one of the main reasons, I believe, for having the GH5 and it being so popular with indie filmmakers was the fact that the in-body stabilization, when paired with a compatible lens, is really rock solid, right? It makes no sense, or made no sense for me in Panasonic having removing this for the GH5S. But for some people, it was actually welcomed. Now, if you look at the GH5 leaked specs, there are rumored to be small but mildly interesting improvements. So if these specs and rumors are true, we may see tomorrow, for examal, H.265 for greater video file compression, an updated, faster processor, which may help with the autofocus that they have had so many problems with. But I think they really need a new autofocus structure altogether. We know how bad the current GH5, and to an extent the GH5 is, at tracking subjects, where you get lots of focus hunting. Now we might get USB charging like they have in the S-line series of cameras with the GH5 MK2. But the GH6 was rumoured to be the new Micro Four Thirds beast from Panasonic, potentially hailing 6K from Micro Four Thirds and 4K at 120 frames per second. But what's really the obsession with these formats anyway? Look, 4K is more than enough. If you plan your shots well, get them framed up. Now, I can see the bonus of having more real estate with 8K, allows for some panning and zooming and making, the framing look a lot better in post, as well as some, additional cropping in post-production. Now, I think it's fine for some, I guess, but not necessarily for my workflow. 6K, which is available in the GH5, for me is the sweet spot. Now, if they do go 8K in such a small sensor, which I suspect will be much noisier, right? Because of the density of the pixels required to support that resolution. You're still putting it on a Micro Four Thirds sensor. And what about all that heat dissipation? We've seen the problems with the Canon cameras overheating. Now, hopefully it'll potentially have a fan similar to the S1H to stop any overheating, but including a fan in a small body in the GH5, for example, is going to make it a little bit fatter. So those of you that follow me, you know that I love Panasonic cameras. And my journey started back in 2016 with the GH4. I quickly saw the potential with Panasonic and the GH5, and that's why I upgraded. I still use the GH4 today for my Zoom calls and the GH5 for B-roll and some video and live streaming work. But as you probably know, I recently switched to the S1H because I wanted to keep with Panasonic. I didn't want the S5, and I wanted to really up my production quality and work to full frame. And I've been nothing but impressed with the quality of the S1H. I mean, the overall colors, the workflow, and the video resolution, it all suits my needs 100%. And it's all I actually need for my video and photo productions. So overall, let's hope for the best for those Micro Four Thirds users out there, which I'm still one of, that Panasonic really delivers something of value tomorrow and that we won't be disappointed. Now, I'll be posting a follow-up video tomorrow to see what they actually did announce. I mean, they are suggesting that there's going to be 2 cameras or more than 1 camera at least announced tomorrow. Anyway, I'll post something tomorrow with my thoughts. Thanks for watching. Until next time, take it easy.